Hello. Welcome back to making sure that you know what happened in the Bible, in the Holy Bible. You know for yourself what happened in there. I'm your host, your teacher and correctionist, Wayne Thomas. And today's something. I'm going to do something a little different today. Today is the 17th of April in the year 2020 something. Easter is coming up this coming Sunday. This coming Sunday is Easter. And I want to make sure that you knew something and was aware of something. First of all, it's my goal to teach this Holy Bible, the Bible that the God of Abraham and his son Yeshua Jesus gave to us to prepare us to be with him. So my goal is to make sure that I teach this thing accurately as possible. One of my most important prayers to my Father and my Savior is to teach his word accurately and correct. It took me a little over 50 years to learn the Bible, which a good 25 of those years was serious business. The first 25 was me younger, and I was doing all kinds of stuff, and I was still out in the world doing all kinds of stuff, and he was trying to get my attention. I hear the Bible program every night. Every day. I didn't read the Bible. I listened to it. I hear it on cassette tapes, which is something I would suggest that a lot of you do, because it might be hard to try to read all of these words and all of this stuff where it was on a radio program that came on for 30 minutes every day, 3 times a day. And I would listen to it 3 times a day, every day. And at first I didn't, I was just wanting to learn I just wanted to learn, the Bible. Then the stories got real interesting. And then, but little did I know that God was preparing me to learn his Bible thoroughly so that I could be able to teach it when the time came. Well, anyway, here we are. Anyway, the goal, of course, is to teach the Bible correctly. Once the Lord allowed me to learn his Bible, then he allowed me to learn history and the various things that happened in history. But I won't get off deep into that. What I want to talk about today is very important, though, in light of history and situations. Something that you might not be aware of. Okay? Now, I said today is the 17th of April, 2020 something. Easter's coming up this coming Sunday. All right. I don't know how many of you knew this out there, but all of it's wrong. Most of it's wrong. When in Jerusalem, on this coming Easter Sunday, people will come into Jerusalem and walk the same trek, the walk that Jesus supposedly walked with the cross and all that. And I remember seeing this when I was a kid. I didn't understand it. And I've seen it a few times throughout my life, but I didn't understand it. But now I get it. The Jewish people in Jerusalem would be saying, look at all these foreigners from America, from all these different countries coming here, being all sad. And they got a makeshift cross that they made up, and they're all sad. And they're trying to walk the walk that Jesus walked on Sunday. And they're like, I don't know why we're doing that. That all happened yesterday. Sunday for us, the Jews, Sunday for us, there was time for us to go back to work. When our work week starts. That's true. I didn't realize that. In other words, our Good Friday is wrong. It should be Good Thursday. By the way, today is Thursday. What I'm saying here is that Jesus' Last Supper, and I want to make sure that you know this. This is very important. Irregardless of history and what was taught to you or shown to you long after and one thinks that that's what actually happened, okay, you can think that. But do a little bit of homework and you'll find out that the truth of it, the real thing that happened was, this is on that night that it all happened, Jesus had his last supper, the last supper in the upper room on a Wednesday evening. Okay? He told Judas to go out and go do what he's going to do that evening. They had their meal. He told Judas what to do. Judas, go do your thing. In other words, Judas is going to go get the soldiers and come back to get him, to kill him. They went to the Garden of Gethsemane later on that night, around 11, 12 at night. They're in the Garden of Gethsemane. Here is where our Savior prayed to our Father, because he knew what was about to happen to him. So he prayed those hard prayers. And the best of those prayers you'll find in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. In John, that prayer that he prayed unto our Father before Judas and them came and got him. Okay? This all happened on Wednesday night, coming into 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're in the Garden of Gethsemane. Around 2, 3 in the morning, here comes Judas and all them. Coming into Thursday morning. Here comes Judas and all them, and the guards and all that. They take him in, our Savior, into the courts, Herod's court, and we had to be judged and all that. They took him in, and that happened. Now we're talking. Now it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 in the morning. Between 5 and 6 in the morning, that's when the cock crowed. When Jesus told Peter that the cock's going to crow 3 times because you'll deny me. That happened. We're talking Thursday morning, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. 5 and 6 in the morning, because when the sun comes up, the cock crowed right there. Thursday morning. They made our Savior walk his cross through the streets of Jerusalem on that day. And you figure that 8, 9, 10 in the morning, those hours, he was with Herod and being judged, and the people and all that stuff happened. 10, 11 around there, he's walking his cross. Thursday, he's walking his cross to the hill, Golgotha. He dies on the cross at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, Thursday. Thursday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the whole world, not just their area, but the whole world went black. From 12 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, not Friday, not Good Friday, From Thursday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon till Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when the whole world went black. Okay? Not Good Friday. He rose Saturday night. Friday night coming into Saturday. Friday night coming into Saturday. That's when he rose. Because it says that Mary and them came to him on the first day of the week. That would be for the Jews, that's Sunday. Here they come to dress him and do their things, but he was gone. Okay? Now, according to us in our times, all that happened a day later. He went through the cross and died on the cross on Friday. That's why they call it Good Friday. Stayed in the grave on Saturday, rose on Sunday. That's why you have your Easter Sunday. People. Constantine the Great made that change, trying to appease all the different religions and change the day, the worship day being Sunday. It's important. Another thing that's very important here is the Passover day. That's what this is all about. The Passover day was on that Friday coming into Saturday, because that's the same day that God rested on the Sabbath day, on the rest day. You have to understand the full pattern, the full pattern. God resting on the day he rested when he first created the world, that's the same day, that's the Passover day. That's the same day that the night before God told Moses told Moses and them to put the blood on the post so that the angel of death would go by. So that Saturday morning, angel already went by, everybody's good, and it's the same day that God rested. And this is the Passover day. Very important, because it all has to do with our Father and his Son. Now, Constantine turned it into all this other stuff. All happened on Sunday. You worship on Sunday, churches on Sunday, because Constantine was doing something similar to our today's modern president. And you know what I mean? He's got the rich people around him, and he's got all these different kingdoms and things going on around him. And Europe is now becoming a major player. You know, there's no such a thing as America yet. And all these, and the Middle East they were quiet and shut down. And Africa was shut down, and India was shut down. They weren't, what I mean by shut down, like in Africa's case, they were just doing their own thing. They had their own gods, their own worshipings, and their own the different things that they had going on. Middle East had their own things, and the Muslims are now coming on the scene in their world and just different things. And this all went on until they finally decided to start conquering. But these things happened. The Jews and Jesus, our Savior, and him dying on that cross, and what we call Easter Sunday, and Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Ash Wednesday, that was all created by man and his little churches. That's not what actually happened. My job is to teach you what actually happened. It happened on Wednesday. Thursday, he died. He walked that cross and died. He was in the grave on Friday. He rose on Saturday, which follows the Passover. Because the Passover, again, Israel at that time with Moses and them thought that the Passover was the angel of death is going to pass over you and you're going to be able to be free. You're going to pass over from being a slave in Egypt to being free to go on your own now. But the Lord was showing them there was a much larger thing involved here. You're passing over from the horror of death that's going to be in dying to being saved from that horror. This is for the Jews because of what happened with Abraham a long time ago and the promise that God made with Abraham and his people, the Jews. Okay? So I want to make sure that you knew that difference. Okay? All right. Just making sure you knew it. Now, you can worship on Sunday, Easter Sunday, and do it the way you've always been doing it. No problem. God's not going to burn. You're not going to burn in hell because, you worshiped Easter Sunday on, you did your Easter on Sunday. No. But just the important thing here is that you know what actually happened. And you know the time frame, and you know what actually happened. That's the most important thing here. Okay, the God of Abraham is not. The certain people have a God, and they have their own little gods that they made. You're not allowed to talk to it. You're not allowed to say anything to it. You're not allowed to. You'll get your head chopped off if you do. No, not our Father. Our Father, you could talk to him as like I'm talking to you right now. Okay, but most importantly, that that's what actually happened, and you know what happened. Okay, all right. You take care. And hopefully, and we'll probably do some of you, I'm sure, will do some homework and find this out. But please don't be shocked when you do. But you take care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.